France ruled Algeria from the early 19th century, up until a brutal war of independence in the 1950s and 60s, when the North African country finally earned its freedom from the colonial rule. During this time, the Algerian government says the European power carried out all kinds of deadly atrocities to maintain its control over the indigenous population. Despite France maintaining strong relations with other former African colonies in the post-independence era, Paris and Algiers have struggled to see eye to eye. Speaking to France 24, Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune said the sides couldn't normalize their relations until France offered a full and genuine apology.
All the massacres that it committed, even in its own country, resulted in a toll of Algerian martyrs estimated at 5,630,000, from massacres after massacres in all places, in the desert, in the far south, and in the plateaus. For example, the throne of Benchara, may God have mercy on them. They were not only exterminated, but the adults from 13 years and above were put in bags while they were alive and gassed in hideous ways.
Recent measures, such as repatriating the skulls of 24 Algerian resistance fighters for burial, hint at a possible thaw. But certain political pressure points in France are thought to be a challenge.
I
believe that the file of historical relations between Paris and Algiers is extremely heavy and represents a burden on France. Experience has shown that France lacks independent political decision-making, with President Macron succumbing to far-right pressures, fearing to take concrete and practical steps towards recognizing France's crimes in Algeria. In my view, the Algerian political leadership is on the right path regarding the issues of historical legacy between Paris and Algiers.
And Algeria isn't alone in this. From Kenya and the DRC to the nations of West Africa, many other African countries are demanding apologies from Europe, not just over the colonial era, but all the way back to the slave trade. King Charles visited Kenya in late 2023, but stopped short of a formal apology there. In order for the two nations to build trust and foster genuine partnerships, many Algerians believe France must step forward.
Does France believe that massacres and genocides are issues that can be forgotten, ignored, or subject to the statute of limitations? This is absurd, and I am confident that you will not find a single Algerian today who opposes the idea of a formal apology demanded by President Abdelmadjid Tebboune.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has added her voice to the discussion. Michelle Bachelet urged the countries to confront their shared history and make amends. French President Macron has previously acknowledged the atrocity of colonialism, making headlines by describing France's colonization of Algeria as a crime against humanity during his presidential campaign. While Macron's statement have been welcomed as a step in the right direction, critics say tangible measures, such as a formal apology, remain pending.